I don't know if I'm getting sick or whatever, but sometimes when you're about to get sick, you feel that little itch. Do you guys have any home remedies that you swear by, kind of thing? You know what I mean? I think my mom would make, oh shit, what would she make? She used to tell me to gargle salt water first, and then
Hmm.
she'd make some weird Chinese medicine concoction that was always really bitter and is disgusting. And Hayden likes his weird, what is it called? What are they called?
Throat coat.
The
Chinese remedy.
the Chinese remedy, the red packet things.
Ninjom.
Yeah,
Ninjom?
the ninjoms.
Pai bakao. I don't
But
know
did you
what the
do you
rest of
guys like growing up? Did you guys have any sort of home remedy stuff
Yeah.
that you know would work?
Yes. Yep. Yep. Tough it out. Fucking man up. Grow a pair.
I was like, did he really? He's just
You
trying
know?
to think of something. Yep,
Yeah.
yep. Spoon of concrete. Yep.
No home remedies. No. I mean, if I ever get really sick, I'm not a medicine guy. Like I have to be really ill or in a very lot of pain, like very lot of pain. That is a proper English grammar sentence. What the fuck
That's
is
very good.
happening? I've spoken before, guys. I have spoken this language before. No, so yeah, I have to be really sick or in a lot of pain before I'll ever take medicine. So if I do, it's usually like a nighttime neocitrin or something like that.
Mm. No, I
Um,
can see head shakes from Hayden.
yeah.
No.
Something. What's wrong with neocitrin?
Oh, I had a bad experience with neocitrin.
Yeah, well, you don't snort it, man. You mix it
Yeah,
with hot
I don't know
water and you
if-
drink it. What-
It goes up in the mouth. By the way, you put it in your
Yeah.
mouth, not the.
Oh, I don't
Yeah.
ingest it directly into the blood.
No.
Gotcha.
Not
Up the bung,
suggested.
not up the bunghole.
What's your bad neocitrin experience?
yeah, I wanna hear your
really? How do you have that idea? I drank too much and I fell asleep. That's what it's supposed to do.
Did you vomit? Did you end up in vomiting?
No. So Alex and her mum swear by it as like the best thing to help you sleep when you've got it when you're sick. And they're like, it makes
Smart
you really.
women, listen to him.
Yeah.
I know. Well, I did. See, and this is when I was living downtown and by myself, so I had no supervision, which is always a bad thing. So they gave me this neocitrin because they were like, if you're starting to feel a little bit sick and you need to sleep, take it. But remember, you've probably got about 15, 20 minutes before it literally knocks you flat out. So my brain, I think I got myself so worked up that when I took it, I was like, I've got to get all of the stuff that I need to do before I go to bed done. And I have no idea when I'm going to wake up. And I got all super stressed out. And you know when you fight off falling asleep and it's kind of like this.
I love that feeling.
It's,
I know.
yeah. But when
best.
mixed with
Happens when I'm
neocitrin,
driving all the time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Show's a very safe driver, everyone. He's got one of those
Yeah, he's
electric
great.
cars, so it does the work for him.
It mostly only happens though to Shao, and correct me if I'm wrong, is when you're in school zones because the speed limit's so low that it kind of puts you to sleep. So
And you go in the little speed
The
bumps and it's just
speed
kind of like
bump.
rocking you. You know what I mean?
yeah, they're
Yeah,
rocking
yeah.
you, and then sometimes when you get to the end, you're not sure if it's a speed bump or actually a child, but you're
Yeah,
in
yeah.
such that euphoric stage, you just keep going. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Just
normal.
one more.
Is that why? Is that why you had a bad experience? You ran over a child.
I
That
was
would make
in-
it probably a great experience for Hayden.
Hey, I'm not the one that's like Show's like,
One
just
less
drown,
Canadian kid.
Just
One less
drown
hockey
them.
player.
Just drown them.
Yeah,
It's not that hard. Just drown them.
yeah.
No, I was fighting. So I got myself stressed. I was fighting off falling asleep because I didn't know if I would wake up for work. So I basically had a bad trip on neocitrin, and there's some things that make me
So
Like, I can't-
hardcore, dude.
yeah. So
That's the most hardcore thing I've heard somebody say.
don't talk to Alex about our time in New York because she thought I was gonna die in New York. But anyway,
Did
the
you have two
neocitrins.
neocitrins?
No, I had a whole bunch of other things. All legal. But anyway, the neocitrin one, I think there's an active ingredient, I think, in like cold and flu meds that doesn't, I'm either allergic to it or my body just doesn't agree with it because it might be different to what's in the drugs in Australia. I don't know. I'm not saying that our drugs are different. I just said I don't know. But something in those like Tylenol, cold and flu pills, and Neocitrin just makes my head feel like it's in a fishbowl, moving on its own accord. So I never touch Neocitrin, and the smell of it just makes me go, nah, get me out of here. So
That's interesting because normally, um, if I don't take medicine, I'm feeling like I'm in a fishbowl anyways. You know, I'm just congested and all that. That's funny that they said to you that you have 15 minutes and it knocks you right out. Like I want whatever Neocitrin they've been getting. Because like, yeah, I mean, it helps you, but usually you take it and it knocks you out because you take it before you lie down because you want to sleep anyways and you want it to help you. I don't think
Yeah.
it's like that extreme where you're just like walking around and then 15 minutes
Boom.
later you're just like fucking boom.
But I didn't know. See, I didn't know this because it's never something that I'd had before. So to me, it was like, it's like taking something the first time, and I'm like, I don't have a spotter. I don't know what's gonna happen to me.
Yeah.
Am I gonna wake up at like
Spotter.
3 o'clock in the afternoon 2 days from now because I really needed the sleep? Like,
Yeah. Just pillows all over Hayden's floor everywhere.
just wrap me in pillows, so if I fall, I'm good. I'm good wherever I land.
That's it. Hey, question for you boys.
Yeah.
Have you been keeping up with the Diddy trial?
No.
Not really. I did what I know or saw the latest was his what do you call it? The courtroom sketch of him. And I feel it looks nothing like him. But that's I don't really know the details of the case right now. I don't know what they're waiting for, you know what I mean? But I
Yeah.
would like to know.
You see, you would, eh? Interesting. The reason I asked this
mhm.
question is because Kate asked me the other day, I think it was like last week or something like that. She asked me, she said, "Oh, have you been keeping up with the Diddy trial?" And I was like, "No, like I haven't." And normally things like that I used to keep up with. But I feel like I've hit a point in my life where like all my fucks to give are full, you know? Like I find because we're so inundated with news nowadays and for the last however many of years that like I'm kind of in this weird place in my life now where I'm almost just ignoring everything, you know, like it's like I've almost hit like an overload because given, you know, the Diddy trial, for example, I had somebody ask me 2 days ago, "Oh, have I been keeping up with the Hockey Canada trial and what's going on with that?" And you know, there's the Canada U.S. relationships that are going on, the Israel and Gaza war that's going on, Russia, Ukraine, and all this stuff, and it's just like I don't know, Alberta, you know, wanting to separate, and so that's sort of one that, and I don't know if maybe it's because I've actually been paying a lot of attention to that one. And I don't know if it's because like it affects me and it affects my family that all this like now I've actually have like a source or something newsworthy that I actually care about. So everything else just seems like
Right.
like you know do I need to keep up with the latest celebrity scandals? Obviously, some political things they affect us one way or the other, but it kind of led me to this question of: do we have a responsibility to care about global events, or is it okay to pick and choose based on mental energy? Because I feel like everywhere you go, somebody's trying to get you to care about what shit is important to them, you
Yeah.
know? And of course, there's terrible things that are happening and happen, and there's great things that are happening. But like, how much do we really have, like, as a person in society, like, how much do we really actually need to care about all this shit?
I don't think you need to care about anything, to be completely honest, because I think I think we live in a day and age, especially the past decade or two, where I don't even know where a trustworthy source of news is anymore. there's so many news outlets that twist and bend things or have their own their own agenda or own perspective or whatever, right? And I do get a lot of my news from social media now, which is probably sometimes not the best.
Oh, it's the worst, actually.
Yeah, it's actually, yeah. But I mean, there are certain things that I do care about, but it's only a split second, right? It's like, oh, if NASA discovered a new whatever, or there's a new species of whatever, that's interesting to me.
Mm.
But political stuff, I'll see it and then I'll scroll past it. I won't really delve too much into it. Maybe I should care more about what's going on with Canada and US and tariffs and all that stuff. But um, I'm just, I guess it's very personal. I guess it's very, what's the word? It's just, it depends what you're into, I guess. I just, at the end of the day, I'm just not a very political person. I check
Even
out usually.
yeah,
Or even when you said the Diddy stuff or the celebrity stuff,
or the
that
Hockey Canada stuff, you know.
I'll take that stuff as it comes. I won't
Yeah.
follow it or whatever. And I usually have some people that'll send me breaking headlines or with those kind of trials and cases, but I don't
Mhm.
really, I don't know. I don't really care so much, I guess. Hayden's
So,
deep in thought right now. Looks like he's
yeah. So, I mean, kind of going off that, I kind of a follow-up question for you, but maybe Hayden can take it is and answer the first part as well. But then to me, because when I hear you give that answer, and maybe I like when I look back and I think of it now, this is probably why I was so interested. It's almost like a form of entertainment,
Mhm.
you know, because I don't think I ever really cared too much about a lot of the shit, you know, to be honest. But I would watch it, or I'd, you know, look further into things because I want to know the details, but I don't know if I wanted to know the details because I necessarily cared, or if it was strictly like news is becoming a form of entertainment.
When I first, okay, so when I first moved here, I didn't have a television, so I had no access to news or whatnot. Social media 10, 15 years ago was not what it is today, where it is inundated with people saying things in news.
Conspiracies.
Yeah. Their own spin on things, their own viewpoint, playing it off as journalism. The death of journalism is a big, real thing, and you know, there's only certain people or institutions that you can maybe still trust. I don't know, but it was coming from Australia. One of the main news publications is run by a rich billionaire, so he obviously pumps his agenda through the newspapers, which is what we get. Kind of like on par with, well, it's the same guy that runs Fox. It's Rupert Murdoch. So never really paid too much attention to it. I'd like to keep in touch with like the local stuff, but since Canada has recently introduced that law where they don't allow like foreign news on social media so as to not dilute what's real and whatnot, I can't access anything from outside of this country. If it's a news article from Australia on a site that I follow, it'll be like, video not allowed to be displayed in your country, which is really annoying because I can't see what's going on in my own country.
I heard there was another great emu war, but it could have been something I saw on Fox. Fox News. Yeah.
Fox News. They're just rehashing history, playing it off as if it's new. I wouldn't put it past them, like people doing that. Anyway, like I think it's gotten to the point, like you just said, like it's sort of become entertainment. People trying to find the biggest thrill or make something up. I saw something the other day, and it was an entertainment-based one, and I was like, I don't think that that's true. And it was Quentin Tarantino took an extra job on The Golden Girls to finance Reservoir Dogs. And I was like, I don't think that's actually true. I'm pretty sure he was already an established writer in Hollywood. He had money. He didn't need to be an extra on Golden Girls. So, I mean, maybe he did. But I instantly straight away went, no, I don't believe you. Like, yeah, he was in it. You can see it. You've got the clip. But the information with it is happenstance.
Right. Yeah, and you know what? It's interesting because when Elon Musk took over Twitter, like that's his big thing, right? Is like free speech. We are like the world's town hall. Like we're all the reporters, and it's almost like when you say journalism is dead, like pretending like everybody who can fucking thump their thumbs on the phone and say whatever they want is some sort of journalism. I think is, you know, not helping the cause.
No.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
I
not
think
at all. Yeah.
I think it's kind of a, I don't know. It's sort of like a ridiculous thing to me. But anyway, so Shao, I have a question for you because being as somebody who, you know, you like you say, you know, you kind of will scroll things, or your friends will maybe send you a headline or something, but maybe you don't go too deep into it or whatever. So, what I'm curious to know, do you have a last piece of news that you pretended to know about just to avoid looking like you were out of the loop? As somebody who
Oh,
not
all the
follows the
time.
news. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, all the time. Well, I guess the latest one is more so about all the tariff stuff. And I was at a dinner last week where the topic got brought up,
Mhm.
and everyone was, you know, somewhat engaged in it, and I still don't really know too much about what's going on with that. And yeah, I just kind of played along. I'm just hoping and praying that no one's gonna ask me personally about
Yeah.
You're
what
like,
I
man, I
thought
really
or
should
what.
have
So
canceled
there was a lot
plans
of
for
head
this
percentage.
one.
nodding. Yeah, there's a lot
Yeah.
of head nodding. I'm like, oh yeah, 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 yeah. Like that's, you know, it's so everything's so expensive now, that kind of stuff. Or like the shipping. If I can't order anything from the States anymore. Like, you know, it's so expensive. That's the extent that I contributed to the. But yeah, no one called me out on it, so luckily. But yeah, I that's the one thing I can think of right now. I do that all the time, actually.
Yeah, I could. That's why I asked you. I could
Mm.
see you just bullshitting your way through.
Oh man, and then some people, I've had people call me out on it before, and it's really awkward and embarrassing. It's I guess it's not really much news when I bullshit like that, but sometimes it's when, oh, have you seen X movie or whatever? Have you seen this movie or whatever? Or and it's maybe like a classic or something like that. And just for the sake of moving the conversation along, I'd be like, yeah, oh yeah, yeah, a long time ago. Yeah, but
Yeah, I don't
I
really
I don't really
remember
remember
that
it.
well.
I don't
Yeah.
remember too much of it. But yeah, I saw it. I think when I was, you know, or I'll say I saw chunks of it. Yeah, I saw bits and pieces of it and all that stuff. But yeah,
Oh,
I've been called out on that a couple of times. And then
Yeah.
I'd be like,
you've
and
seen the
then
trailer and
and then
you're
I'd
like,
say,
these are all my
yeah, yeah.
favorite bits.
And then, for example, let's say someone was like, "Oh, have you seen Fight Club?" Which I have, but if I didn't, I'd be like, "Yeah, yeah, the one with yeah, Brad Pitt and whatever." I'll know that, and then
Mhm.
they'll maybe someone can see that
What
I'm
is it? What
bullshitting.
is it? What does it get you though? What if they like? Why not just say like no? I'm just curious. Is it just
I
fun
no
to
no.
fuck with people? You're just
I think
an
there's
asshole
two things.
shower.
I think back then I did it more because I didn't want to come across as dumb.
I
Because
see.
for something
Yeah.
like Fight Club, I know everyone has seen it. I don't want to be like, oh no, and then the reaction would be like, you haven't seen it, you know, like,
Yeah.
oh, so when I was little, I cared about that, but now it's more like I just kind of want to move the conversation along because if I don't, I kind of feel that that person will tell me a story that's not really that great, or that, or maybe knowing Fight Club isn't super relevant to what he or she's trying to tell me. So I'll be, oh yeah, 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 and then so she'll be like, yeah, you know that part when they, you know, brand each other with a soap thing or whatever. I'm like, yeah, 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 yeah. So I'll just,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
I'll just
You'll
nod along
watch,
to that, and
you'll come across someone who sees through your bullshit and then says a scene that's not even in the film. And you're like, yeah, 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 that's my favorite scene. And they're like, that look
God.
means that someone's already done that to
Oh
you.
God. And
Reading
yeah,
it.
I don't know what I would do in that situation. I'd just be like, oh wait, wait, hold on. I'm thinking of
I'm
another
thinking of
Brad Pitt
another
movie.
movie.
The and then I'll do that, and then somebody like, oh, you mean like Troy. Troy, that's the one. That's the
Yeah.
one where they use the soap and they brand. Yeah,
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 yeah, yeah.
That's the one. Yeah.
This whole time you've been talking, I've been trying to think of a bit that I could get you and Hayden to play out in like around this scenario, but it hasn't come to me yet. So if it comes to me, I'm gonna get you to do it. What about you, Hayden? Have you ever just
Agreed to move
nodded
along.
or yeah, like agreed to something that pretended like you knew something that you didn't?
All the time when I was growing up, like very much like
Yeah.
Shao. I grew up with a family that was very academic and very in touch with the political climate of the country and the world. Like that was just like the thing that got talked at the dinner table. And as the like oldest grandkids, it was always Luke, my brother, and Hayden. Like, what are your thoughts on this? And it would be like, yes, agreement. Oh, but what about this? No, yes, you make a good point. Like, maybe
Yeah.
not so
Yes,
much agreement.
yes.
Like, so all the time, because I didn't really have any interest in following news outside of my own interests when I was younger and growing up. And I still say it a little bit now to this day because I'm not allowed to vote. So I can't really find it in me to follow what's going on with local politics and whatnot because I don't get a say in it. So, like, my brain just cuts it out. But I keep saying is like, until it affects me and my family, then I'll have to find out what's going on. Like once, like there's kids around and whatnot in schools, and if it affects the way my future family gets to live, then I'll obviously be engaged, even if I can. But right now, there's a lot of times where I'm just like, I don't have any engagement with anything outside of my own personal interests. And I try to, like Shao and you both have said, I try to keep tabs on everything because it obviously, and especially now with, you know, how our southern border friends, in inverted commas, are doing, it obviously affects us up here in Canada. So I have to be very sort of on the pulse with that.
Well, I got some good news for you because if you're not keeping up with local politics, they just announced, I think it was, what day is it? Wednesday. So it was either early this week or late last week that they're going to get running water out to your area. So that's something to look forward to.
Good thing is that I've got my own well water, so I don't have to pay the city squat for water.
You have well water?
Yeah.
Do you
And
have
apparently-
do you have one of those things where you pull and then a bucket comes out?
Yeah, and we're going to make sure that the kids don't get anywhere near it. We don't want to have a little kid fall down a well. I'm falling and I can't get out.
Yeah.
my dad growing up, where he grew up in a little town called Grassy Lake, he didn't
Is
have
that
running-
close to Slave Lake, Justin?
No, it's about
I just wanna
7.5 hours southeast.
This is where the slaves went
But-
after, and they grew grass.
Yeah, no, it was actually, fun fact, Grassy Lake and Bow Island are kind of like Greenland, Iceland. They had their names accidentally switched, but that's a boring story for another time. But no, he grew up and he had to haul water. He had to haul buckets of water. They didn't have running water at their house. He hauled buckets. You know, had to sleep, I think, on the floor in the living room. Like, he grew up quite not well off. So it's like, I can't imagine having to haul buckets of water. So what would you say though? Okay, Hayden and Shao, because when I was talking about, like, you know, news and being inundated with it, and kind of the conversation went a little more towards like political news, and given the current climate and leaders in the world right now and all the shit that's going on in the world, kind of makes sense that that's what you would be thinking about when I talk about news. But if you're not big into like politics, for, you know, because it doesn't interest you, Shao, or because Hayden, you can't vote because you're a criminal, so it doesn't make a difference, what would you say is what would you say
Don't tell
is,
everybody.
what would you say is you know, you go on to Twitter, you go on to Instagram, whatever you use, what would you say is your primary genre of news? Is it sports? Is it entertainment? Like what does actually get you paying attention?
Right now for me it's science, more science related, AI related, um,
Tech,
medical
that sort of stuff.
yeah, tech, medical breakthroughs and stuff like that. Um,
Can you
Robots
think
fighting
of
each other.
one? Can you think of one that you've read recently that's interesting?
come back to me. Well,
Okay.
Hayden,
Hayden, what about you?
My main ones now are literally I have all of the Hollywood um, entertainment news is always running through my feed, music and sports. So
so Hayden's really well aware that what's her name, Sydney Sweeney is selling her like the bathwater soap thing. I'm sure you
Yep,
know all about
I
that.
am aware of that, and I'm like, what the hell? What the actual
He's
hell?
got a box. My buddy told me about that, and I was like, "Who is this so and so Sweeney person?" He's like,
I
"What? You don't know her?" I was like, "What is she like? OnlyFans or something?" He's like, "I wish." I was like, "Okay,
she
settle
doesn't even
down."
need, like, from what I gather, she wouldn't even need one because she's shown it all anyway. So, but
I
I
don't
haven't.
even know who she is. Have you
Yeah,
seen? Did you see that? Oh, go ahead.
no. I was just gonna say I haven't seen anything that she's done. I know the main show Euphoria with Zendaya,
Yep.
but I don't have whatever channel it's on. I think it's HBO. So
So, did you hear? I just actually read this today, Hayden, that Thunderbolts. No, they called
New
it Doomsday.
Avengers.
Doomsday,
Oh, yep.
because there's Doomsday and I forget what the other one is for Marvel Avengers, is going to set a record for the most expensive movie made. And they were saying that even if it beats Jurassic World, which made like 917 million or something, and Lord of the Rings, the whole trilogy, which made, you know, upwards in the hundreds of millions as well, even if it were to beat those, it would still be considered a flop because they're estimating it's going to cost $1 billion to make Doomsday.
Well,
Did you see this?
they said they have to make 2 billion to break even because they're gonna spend another billion on marketing. Usually in marketing is like
The
around
same cost
double
as
the
the
price
Yeah,
of
film.
they're
the.
saying like $250 million in cast alone. They had like 31 or 32 A-list actors, plus I forget how much they estimated, and then yeah, a billion.
200 million of that's for Robert Downey Jr.
That's him alone, is it not? I feel like he is actually making like a crap load of money.
Doesn't
But
he make it on the back end though?
I don't know how
Probably.
any of those contracts work because I did think about the point that if you have that many A-listers that were a part of the previous, movies, and obviously Marvel wants all of them to come back for this epic battle or a war or whatever. What if there's one in particular, like let's say Star-Lord or something? Chris Pratt is like, I want more because he knows that they're
You
not
would
going
never
to
do that.
be.
Don't no, don't pick somebody else. Not Chris Pratt. Come on.
But you know what I mean, though. Like I think there's probably there's something in the clause or something that makes them. I don't know what happens because what prevents the other people from doing that same thing? You know what I mean? Like
What?
I don't know
Yeah,
how those
that's
contracts
a
work.
good question because normally when you sign the contract, you'd sign it for X amount of movie deals, and maybe there's like
Mm,
maybe in the contract there's something like an option. You know how like with Talkit had the Canucks had they owned him for a year. They owned his option, but then
okay.
they just let him walk. I don't know. I'm just thinking maybe, or maybe it's like you'd like to think. I mean, egos can get big in Hollywood, but maybe it's like, hey, I'm already filthy rich. They're still gonna pay me good money. Like it'd be fun to come back and make this
Yeah,
kick-ass movie.
yeah. But you have
With AI nowadays, if you don't, they probably just steal your likeness or something.
probably. But I just saw the thing actually a couple hours ago where Tom Hiddleston, who plays Loki, he didn't even know he was part of the movie until he saw a teaser. You remember the teaser with all the chairs
Yeah.
with the names in the back of the chairs? He
Yeah.
saw his name. He's like, "Oh, I guess I'm in the movie."
Get my agent on the phone.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. So I kind of wonder how that all works, and But at the end of the day, I'm sure a lot of them, one, they have enough money, and two, it's like you don't want to be that guy that's like, I want to make double what
Yeah.
she's making or whatever.
Yeah.
And three, I'm sure it's just fun for them, probably.
I'm sure it's fun. Yeah. So Hayden, I'm gonna kind of throw you the same question I showed Shao. Sports, whatever other two boring things you said, but
Music
sorry.
and Hollywood
Entertainment,
entertainment.
music and- okay, yeah, okay, they're not boring. Yeah, yeah. It's just me who's boring because I forgot. Is there something that you've read recently that really got you excited, or that's newsworthy that you want to share with us in the audience?
That's news. Well, let me tell you, it's of your favorite game that is played on grass with a round ball.
I should have left out sports. I knew it. God
I'm just
damn
going to
it,
briefly play it because it's quite impressive, actually.
No, yeah.
So, at the moment, the regular season of all competition in Europe is done. Justin, you can have a nap for this one. Shower, see if I can keep you awake. So before preseason, they're having at the moment what's called the UEFA Nations League, which is basically another tournament between Euro and World Cup, where the teams in Europe can play each other and see who's the best. Anyway, so it's the semi-final round this week. Portugal was playing Germany, and we all know who the best Portuguese player in the world is. Yes, no, yes, no.
Sweet.
Ronaldo. Now, Ronaldo is a little bit older than me, and he's still playing very, very well, even though he's in the Saudi league and everyone says it's a shit league. But he is the top goal scorer for this Nations Cup thing at 40 years old. They were playing Germany. They have never beaten Germany in their last 4 international meetings. Guess what happened today?
They beat Germany.
They lost again.
What?
They lost again.
They
They beat
them in-
Germany.
hold
They
on.
came from
They beat them in
behind.
penalty kicks because it was
No.
a 0-0 and a game score.
It was 2-1, end of game score.
Oh.
No extra time, no nothing. And Ronaldo scored the winning goal, and not from a penalty. So they call him Penaldo because he scores a lot of penalties.
God.
Like penalties are easy to score. They are not easy to score.
Shut up. What are you talking about? The fucking net is 10 times the size of the goalie.
Have you ever seen the sports science of how quick a goalkeeper has to react for a penalty kick? I'd like to see,
Yes,
I'm just curious.
They basically try and see how they're running up and guess which way they're going to shoot,
Yeah.
and they just jump.
It's
Yeah.
pre-cognitive. You have to it's like 0.6 of a second. I'd like to see, scientifically, a hockey goalkeeper's reaction time versus a soccer goalkeeper's reaction time. Just curious to see if it's anywhere close or if one is way more than the other or way less than the other.
I think also F1 drivers have to have insane reflex.
I would say F1 would be the highest reflexes. I feel like I think
it's insane.
hockey goalie. I mean, you have to be really quick as well because the puck changes directions and it's smaller and I feel like you get more shots. Like you face a lot more shots in a game.
Yeah.
But I would argue
So
that
you're saying that that's hard to score on a penalty kick?
penalty kicks are very difficult to score. It's not an easy thing. There is a lot of space.
I wonder what the percentage is of made shots versus failed, saves.
I'm
You know
getting the
what I mean?
research team on it.
Okay, thanks.
Not
thanks, Trey.
misses either. Misses don't count. Dre, can you get on it?
That's my one thing of interest. Portugal beating Germany. Ronaldo scoring a winning goal from the field of play at the age of 40. Taking his team essentially to another international trophy. And as everyone always says, how many international trophies determines whether or not you're the GOAT. Messi has the World Cup now, which I don't really agree that they won it legally, but who knows? That's a whole other thing.
Whoa, what? That's a bold accusation to throw.
It
and
is.
walk away from.
It is a bold
Sprinkle it
one.
and just walk.
Yep. So
So
that to me was a big thing. and it was also circulating around because he had the option to leave Al Nassr. His contract was up. I took this as a statement to Europe that he's still capable of being a top striker in Europe. But I think he's just re-signed. So anyway, that's what excited me.
Are you a Ronaldo fan?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
because I mean, both. If you want to debate very very quickly on the two, like Messi, Ronaldo, who's the better, I will not go into that because both of them are different types of players. Both have done magical things on the field, but I will side with Ronaldo because he played for Manchester United. So I'm always going to have him as my first player. And those of you that don't know, Man United's my team.
Yeah, he's also way better looking than Messi. Anyways,
Facts.
that's just my opinion, but whatever.
So, so the research team got back to me. Thank you,
good,
Dre.
good.
This is not gonna bode well for your claim, Hayden.
Of what? I didn't make a claim.
That it's hard to score penalty kicks in soccer when the net is 30 feet by 12 feet and the goalie's, guessing which way he jumps. So I'm going to ask you before I'm going to give you the statistics. What do you think the percentage of goals scored is for penalty kicks in professional soccer?
Oh, it's probably something stupid high, like 90% or something. It's probably very, very high.
I'll say.
Well, you said it was hard. Why would you guess 90%?
Because it is still very hard to score one. It's not like you can just.
But you do it every time?
Almost every time, if you're good at it. If you are a good penalty taker, it's very easy. That's why they have only 5 that they pick from a team of 20 or more to take them. So you have to be good at it, hence why it's easy to score them.
So would it be a fair sort of test with this, this, not really a debate or an argument, but this experiment, if you have a professional goalkeeper and us shooting on a professional goalkeeper?
I think we would still score this percentage that is the actual fact.
You know what I mean?
I think, you know what? We should put this to a test. When we get together next, we'll get a soccer ball, we'll find a goal net, and we'll each take 4 shots on each other, because the statistic is in professional soccer, the success rate of penalty kicks is typically around 75 to 80%.
Oh my God. Fuck. I was going to say 79%. Fuck.
Were you? Yeah.
Yeah, I was.
So rough breakdown, 75% goals scored, 15%, only 15% saved by the goalkeeper, and 10% missed off target or hit the post. So elite competition example, in the English Premier League, the conversion rate over recent seasons has hovered around 76 to 78%. In FIFA World Cup history, the rate is slightly lower, especially during shootouts due to pressure, and it's closer to 70 to 75%. Comparatively, in the NHL, what do you think is a percentage of goals scored in a penalty shot or in a shootout?
Goals scored? Oh, I'd say less than 50. I'd say 44.
44. Hayden?
No idea. Because you make your goalkeeper the size of the goal, so what's the point? 25%.
And there's still more goals than there is in a soccer game. 25%.
No, there's not.
Goals
no, there is
scored,
not.
33%. So 1 in 3.
Third. Okay.
Yeah, goalies save about 67 to 70%. Yeah, so there you go. There is some stats on shootouts in hockey, penalty shots in hockey, and penalty kicks in soccer. Let's wrap it up there before Hayden and I start fighting in front of all of you, because
I do want to bring it back to what you asked me earlier.
No, that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna throw it back to you to see,
yeah,
if you found your your
Yeah,
latest article that interested you?
no. I remember it was because lately we talked about this before we were rolling, I think, about how there's so many AI advancements lately. And one of the articles that I read was that there is an AI that officially enrolled as an art student in Vienna,
What?
like Austria. So the AI's name is Flynn, and he was accepted into the digital art program at the University of Applied Arts, Vienna, after completing a standardization, including a portfolio interview and a suitability test. And then he will attend class and receive critiques and earn grades alongside human students. And I don't know, it's
Wow.
just kind of interesting, you
So
know?
did they know it was AI when it was applying?
It doesn't, it says the school's digital art head said there are no rules requiring students to be human, noting Flynn did a really nice interview. So we were like, yeah, that's absolutely a student to take in.
Okay,
So go ahead, Hayden.
is it a tuition free school?
I
Because
I'm guessing no, but
I mean it's
maybe
Vienna, whereas and maybe they have free
Austria.
schooling there. Maybe they have free schooling, but I was like, other students are paying for their education, and so who's paying for the AI's education? Also, AI draws from humans inputting data or from pre-existing artwork, to not go down this rabbit hole too much. So what it's producing is essentially collages of pre-existing people. Now you could argue that that's what humans do when they're
That's what
initially
humans do,
learning,
yeah.
yeah, that's what
when we're
humans do.
learning, but also you will take your influences and you can't copy it straight away, whereas a computer program can do pretty good straight away. Anyway, that's wild that is something they're like, yeah, we'll grade you next to all the other students.
Wins valedictorian, does
Yeah.
Yeah,
the
the
valedictorian speech.
speech.
It's
Hello,
been such a
everybody.
pleasure
Yeah.
working at Vienna Institute
I like
of
how
Art.
the AI were making him sound like a 80s robot when they all
Yeah, I know.
sound pretty
Yeah.
real now. You know what I mean?
So, actually, speaking on that and on the topic of AI, I was listening to this guy and he was talking about because now on TikTok and other social media platforms, people are using AI influencers. So instead of going on there themselves, they are, if they're promoting a brand or something, they might set up a bunch of different pages and then just use AI to sell the product or to, talk about whatever the page is about. And he was saying that, I mean, you can just, if I'm doing multiple pages, that's a lot of work. But if you're having like just AI produce content, obviously you'd probably have to do the posting or maybe you'd schedule it. I don't know. But he was talking about how you're going to get, there's going to be this like rush of influencers using AI influencers. And pretty soon he's like, you're going to have like 8 billion AI influencers because you could have, endless amounts. You don't need people and maybe spread across different platforms or maybe doing different things. Maybe it's not all just um, like influencing stuff, but we could actually see ourselves in the not so distant future where there is actually more AI characters or people or whatever the fuck you want to call them than there are humans on this planet. And that's
Yeah,
kind
I
of a
mean,
fucked up
you're
thing to
starting
think
to
about.
already see a lot of AI influencers, especially.
Yep.
I guess it's to start off with people creating AI models, meaning like beautiful women or like handsome men. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes, not gonna lie, I miss I can't tell from the thumbnail, right? And then you click on it when it's
Yep.
enlarged, and then you're like, okay, then there's certain tells, but they have hundreds of thousands of followers, these AI like
Yep.
bots or influencers. And then now you see more sort of what do you call it? Fitness AI influencers too. So it's just kind of growing in that sense. And I mean, it's so interesting because people people know fully it's AI, but then there's still obsessed with it because they're creating a version of a woman. I'm just using the woman model for example, that quote unquote is the perfect woman based on data, right? Like the symmetrical face, the type of body, the cup size, the hair length, and all that stuff. Obviously, there's not just one model to base it off of on, but yeah, it's crazy, and I'm sure people. It's just creepy because I think people actually do, like inbox them, you know, and try to
Yeah,
try to
probably.
talk to these AI
Get those
things.
Send me
digits.
some nudes. Send me your nudes.
Yeah, a lot of just
You can follow.
incels
Go
in
to
their,
my
in their
OnlyFans
basements.
page.
Yeah.
AI
OnlyFans. Yeah, dude,
Oh, yeah, I
it'll
mean, I
happen.
bet.
It'll
I,
yeah, like there's gonna be that sort of stuff for sure.
I think there already is. Just I
Okay,
don't
stop
know if
pretending like you don't know. Tell us,
no, I don't.
Shao.
I actually don't know if
That's where he
OnlyFans
ordered
is
his
is like
latest lady friend from.
yes,
You
but I
want to
don't know
bring
if
me home?
OnlyFans has a thing that says you can't be have to be human or whatever. But if if not, then I would be incredibly surprised if there isn't someone making money off of AI OnlyFans account. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is
Probably all run by guys, and
well,
they're the ones on the keyboard responding.
they're the ones that
Oh, yeah.
sat in the corner in high school that got bullied, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Now they're making money off you
now they're-
jerking off, Hayden.
I know,
Um,
I know.
No, I had this conversation with Alex actually about OnlyFans just the other night, and it's something that I will
She
never.
said no, right? She
No, that was Feet
didn't
Finder.
approve
That
of
was
her.
Feet Finder. I said I would never, ever, ever go on it. And she brought up the good point that like it's closer to cheating than looking at just like porn because you're interacting with someone specifically to interact with them.
Right.
I
Well,
was like,
okay.
yeah.
So, OnlyFans, I've heard on, I don't know if it's true, but I heard on several occasions that a lot of the bigger names, it's run by they hire people to respond. Right. It's a team of people. Not
So
to
you're
get,
looking for a loophole so that you can go.
I'm more looking. I just want to know how much get paid because I'm looking.
Yeah,
for a
I'll be
side
one of those
hustle.
people that
Dude.
answers the questions.
well, no, somebody was just talking about this. I've just heard somebody talking about this, and that's what they did. Shao, I thought maybe you told me that you knew somebody. Maybe it was somebody else, but that they did that. That their OnlyFans was so big that this woman, and it was like her friend or somebody she knew, and she started paying her to chat with the guys.
Right.
And that's what she did. She didn't actually do any of the videos or anything like that, but the other girl or whatever was just too busy to be able to respond to everybody, so she hired somebody to chat with people.
Yeah, and I'm sure now you can also just incorporate bots into like AI bots to talk to people as
Totally.
well. And because before I know labor in certain countries is very cheap compared to North America, right? So for example, India or Thailand, some of these, you know, some of these countries they have teams of people of men in like a room and they're just getting paid maybe $1,000 US a month to just chat and do bots and stuff, and that to them, to the OnlyFans star, is nothing because they're generating so much more money that $1,000 to them is probably nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're making millions. I'd look into that job.
You could do it. I think you'd be good at it. Hey, I have a couple we've been talking a bit about news and
Mhm.
that stuff. So I have a couple
Was that
would you
with a
rathers
D?
for you guys. You want
Nudes?
to play them?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd bring it.
Okay. So just a few would you rathers, just for fun. Would you rather read every news headline in the world every morning? That's a bit aggressive. Or hear one but never know if it's true.
Oh,
Hero one.
Let's not say everyone in the world. Let's just say, would you rather read every news headline? fuck.
for
In
Canada.
your country.
Yeah.
Yeah, in your country.
In your country.
That's still a lot.
It's still a lot. Sorry, this is a bad would you rather.
I would
I don't
take
know.
I would take the one not knowing
You
if
get
it's
the
true.
gist of the question, though. You get the gist of the question.
Yeah, I would take the one not knowing whether it's true because I would then be able to do my own research to find out if
Yeah.
it was real or not.
Yeah.
Except it is or hear one, but never know if it's true.
Oh, so you can't do your own independent.
It's a game, man. Yeah. Otherwise,
That's why I tried to loophole it.
So basically, would you rather have to read every headline or only ever hear one, but never know if it's real or not?
The latter. Reading
It's
every
the
headline
latter.
takes way too long. It's gonna eat up my mornings.
Yeah.
Because you
I'm
get
a
up
slow
at midday.
reader.
It's a slow reader. What about you, Hayden?
Well, because I've been away from home for so long, I would probably do every news headline of the day in Australia, like of the day.
Yeah.
And I would get it like read out to me. I'd use my AI to be like, "Yo, can you read me the headlines?" Am I allowed to do that, or do I have to pause and physically read them all?
We'll say headlines. Yeah, headlines.
I have to physically read every headline. I would still do that. I'd still just be like, flick, 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 swipe right, or left.
Swipe right,
whatever way.
swipe right. All right. Okay. Would you rather be stuck in a conversation about the economy with Elon Musk or about Hollywood drama with Kris Jenner? Oh, man.
I would take. Shall I let you go first?
I'd take Kris Jenner. I that's just me. I think I don't know. Elon is so unhinged and he's always on drugs and shit. I don't know. I can't take him seriously right now. I know he has done some good, okay, people, but he's a little bit too unhinged for me. And I think being around him and being around people like that makes me uneasy. The feeling. Obviously, I've never been around him, but people like him. People who are so, you know,
I feel like
egotistical or whatever you want to call it.
would you rather be stuck in a conversation really describes, I think, what it would be like having a conversation with Elon about the economy. You would just feel like
You wouldn't be talking
like
back.
yeah, it would be like the Homer Simpson gif of like backing into the
bush.
The bush.
Yeah.
What's your choice, Hayden?
I would do the same as Shao, because Kris Jenner has been. That's the mum, right? She's seen some shit. So
Yeah.
I would literally, I mean, and that's she's. I feel she's much smarter and much more conniving at managing than we see, because she has done some very successful things, and she's been in the heart of Hollywood for quite a long time. Like even like when she herself was like 20 or whatever with OJ and all that. But I would take that. It would be entertaining as hell to be in a conversation with her on.
Yeah, and people like her, even though it's supposed to be a reality show, there's always another layer of a mask. You know, even though there are cameras, you know, there's cameras in front of you all the time, and there have been clips I've seen of, you know, when Paris Hilton did her reality show with, I think, Nicole Richie, like Simple Life, I think that's what it's called. Paris Hilton has this voice that she does, her voice that you always hear on TV, but she has like a real voice that she speaks with no cameras around. I think that's the same with Ariana Grande, and I think Michael Jackson had a real voice as well, right? So I feel like something like that with Chris. First of all, for some reason when you said Kris Jenner, I thought Caitlyn Jenner, but then whatever, I'll still pick Caitlyn Jenner over Elon. But yeah, I still think you're right, Hayden. I think Chris is somewhat of a persona or a character in the reality show, right? But probably just a little bit more exaggerated than what she is.
I think so too, and I'm actually happy you brought up Michael Jackson's real voice, because Hayden actually does a really good impersonation of Michael Jackson's real voice. Hayden, go ahead.
Well, like, what do you want me to say? There's that
That was a
famous
terrible
story.
impression. I told him that you could do a good
Talk
impression.
about bubbles. Talk about bubbles.
Talk about bubbles. It would be. I can't go as deep as my MJ.
Yeah, he was known for having a deep voice.
He
His
was.
real
There's
voice.
that famous story when someone called him about it, like obviously like tracking or something, and he answered it in his real voice, and they were like, "Is Michael there?" And he's like, "Yeah, it is me." You know, obviously a deep bassy voice. I think there are actually some of his tracks that have his actual deep voice on them. Like he sings in his deep voice. I have to find those.
Okay, so let's play it out. You're gonna do Michael Jackson's real deep voice, and Shao, you're gonna be Bubbles.
I thought Shao was going to be the high voice, and then we can be both sides of the personality.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah. Shao, you be. Yes, this is. Okay, no. What was the thing I was trying to find? How I could do a bit later. What were we talking about way earlier? God damn it! I wish this thing had playback. Anyways, yeah, you are deep Michael's voice, and you're high Michael's voice, and you guys are in a debate about whether or not you should keep Bubbles or put him down.
So this is like Gollum or like Smeagol talking to himself.
Yeah. Shao, you want to keep Bubbles? You want to keep Bubbles, and Hayden, you think that Bubbles should go. Your main argument is because of like the diseases and the safety issues of having him, and Shao, like his cuddleness and his love, and all that. And so we're gonna see who wins the debate.
No, we're not
stepping
getting
up
rid
to
of.
the,
we're doing story. Oh, I thought going right in.
This is
Oh,
going to be
I
so
was gonna
bad. This is
see-
going to be so bad. I can't go deep enough. Anyway, sorry.
It's terrible. I'll stop you.
Okay. So here we go. No, Bubbles is staying. Bubbles, look how cute he is. He's such a good companion, and there's no reason to get rid of him. He's part of family. He's family. He's family.
Listen here, motherfucker. We can't have that. We can't have that dirty ape. He spread all kind of diseases around. Listen to my friend, Mr. T. I pity the fool that wants to keep that monkey.
No, that's BS. That's BS. He has no diseases. I get him checked all the time. First of all, I do want to say it sounds exactly yours doing fucking Robert Downey Jr.'s voice in Tropic Thunder.
That's what he sounded like, Shao.
Yeah. That's what he sounded
Robert
like.
Downey stole it from him. Yeah.
You people? What do you mean, you people?
I didn't expect that. That was good.
That cut me off the guard too.
Broke me. It was very good. Oh man, I don't. Sorry.
I think I got to give it to Hayden. I think
you have
Hayden
to.
won that.
You
debate.
have to. I admitted that I lost actually, pretty much.
The one line.
That was. Oh man, that was really good.
Sorry.
That was
That
so
was
good.
really fun. I have one more. Would you rather? Let's do it. Would you rather have to care deeply about every news story you read, or never be allowed to care about any of them again?
About everyone that you read. So,
Yeah, I'm not going to say every news story. I'll just say every news story. I mean, whether that you seek out that news story to care about, or it pops into your algorithm and then you're like, you read the headline and then now you have to care about it. So would you rather have to care deeply about every single news story you see, or never be allowed to care about any of them again?
I would like to care about everyone that I chose, that I sought out to read, because obviously there's a reason why I wanted to read it.
But what I'm saying is, even if you don't seek it out, it's just anyone you see. So you're
okay.
walking by the
Okay.
newspaper stand and you see, and the newspaper guy goes,
MJ gives up Bubbles the
hey,
monkey.
Yeah.
You're like,
And then you get really emotional. And get
yeah, and then you
attached to that.
care about it.
Well, that's hard. Because I don't want to care about there's so much bullshit, especially when you go buy groceries and the stand next to the grocery conveyor
Scandal
belt
rags.
with all the the People
the National
magazines
Enquirers.
and like
Those ones piss me off anyway. It's all conspiracies into a magazine.
You just go everywhere with like horse blinders on, so you're like, okay, I know if I see something, I'll care. So
I might have to do that because
you
that'll
know what
be
I
a
do? I just drive
nuisance.
by Hayden's house every once in a while and be like, hey, did you hear this story about? So there you
Motherfucker!
Why can't you just send him an article?
go. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, just
Because he wants to come see me.
Yeah,
yeah, it's too far. You're right.
Yeah, because I was gonna say Justin's gonna drive 9 hours just to give you a freaking.
I'll be like, oh, a text from
magazine.
Justin. Oh, son of a bitch. Now I have to care.
yeah, that's right. Oh, son of so much about this. Yeah, it's a tough one. I think I would go the not care way personally. I just like never care.
Just be like, oh, cool. Next.
I probably go the not care way as well, just because at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter.
Until it's
that's-
like-
End of the day.
honestly, it sounds so a little bit, dark and depressing and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, truly, nothing really matters. Nothing really lasts. But that's just.
I'm with you on that, and that's sort of why I brought this conversation up to begin with, is because I kind of hit that point in my life where I was like, I don't care about shit really anymore.
Yeah.
Like stuff that doesn't involve me directly, and that might be like, ooh, that's kind of selfish. It's like, yeah, well, you know what? I can't put that kind of energy out to care about shit that doesn't directly relate me. Now, if we're talking about something like very serious and has major like global impact on humanity, okay, that's a bit different. But no, I'm a lot more selfish in a lot of ways these days.
And I think that's good. I think that's good. Yeah, there's just so much bullshit now these days. I don't know. I mean, when you brought up this topic, it kind of made me think too. It just kind of made me think how much time I spend on social media, and that's the main source of my news. It's the first thing I do
Information.
when I wake up. It's just scroll to see, any news, any hockey news, any whatever, like sports highlights, and just stuff that I would used to do on TV at night. You know what I mean? Just.
Mhm.
And now I do that in bed, and I can easily stay in bed for an hour or two, just scrolling and just doom scrolling. You know what I mean? And
Scrolling, man.
and what does that really do for me at the end of the day? Nothing really. And
it-
any big news, I'll hear it elsewhere. I don't need to fucking,
And that's the
whatever,
thing,
right?
Shao. I'm happy you said that, because it doesn't do anything for you. It stops you from doing. Because
Very
instead of
wise.
being out there and doing something, being productive, not that
Yeah.
you're not, but you know what I mean? I get it. I fall victim into doom scrolls sometimes too. It's a way to escape. I certainly don't use it as a news source, although sometimes I do. It's more for entertainment purposes for me.
You're telling me that you
Yeah.
don't like compile all of your favorite informations to share with your friends later?
Is that what you do?
No, but I do have a folder on Instagram called For the Podcast, and every like little funny thing or
that's-
information, I save it to that folder to pull up at some point and be like, hey,
What was the last thing you brought up from that folder?
let's see, let me see. I'll open it right here
It's
live
gonna be
on
from
the
episode
show.
6 or something.
No,
Yeah.
where? See, I don't even do it that often. I don't even know how to get to it. Saved for the
I have a
podcast.
folder. I have a folder that's all recipes that I want to try. I've never tried any of them. I think I've tried. No, sorry. I should say I probably tried 2 out of maybe 80 recipes I've saved in the past 2 or 3 years.
So
Just never-
this one is not. It's the third most recent one that I did, but I thought it would be a fun one for you guys. It says, "Step up your jerk off game with the ribbed stranger."
The what?
The ribbed stranger.
Oh my God. What is wrong with you? What is wrong? Is that your hand?
That's-
yeah,
That's his post.
that's my hand. I made that meme,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I
yeah.
got
That's his
so many things.
Hayden, send that to Justin so Justin can put it on our socials.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Send it to me.
Oh
All
my
right.
God.
I'll just send it to the chat.
All right. So whether your give a fuck gauge is full or empty or straight up broken, we get it. There's a lot of information out there, people. There's too much to care about. If you find yourself doom scrolling, feeling like you need to give a shit about everything, you don't. My advice to you, pick one thing, two things, maybe even three things that you really care about. And instead of trying to care about too much and doing nothing, care about a couple things and see if you can do something about it, if you really care about it. And also, don't take advice from me because I am not somebody who gives good advice or is full of knowledge or is really any sort of responsible human being. But I do want to say thank you for tuning in this week. I do want to say thank you to Shao and Hayden, who are the two best co-hosts in the world. You make this a real pleasure to come and do this. If you're liking the show, please like, subscribe wherever you listen to your podcasts. Come hang out with us on social media, TikTok, Chummy.Thumbs, Instagram, Chummy Thumbs, YouTube, Chummy Thumbs, Twitter, you guessed it, Thummy Chums. Wait, did I say it right? No, Chummy Thumbs. What?
Don't trust what he says, people.
Don't trust what I say. Because I don't know how you can make that relation. I am as full of bullshit as it is easy to score in a soccer penalty kick. I don't know. That one didn't work. Cut that, Hayden. Okay.
It's staying in.
Yeah, son of it.
What's
Anyways, yeah, come hang out with us on socials. Come back next week. Who knows what we'll get into? Maybe procrastinating. Maybe not. Until then, keep on
thumbing. Smooth.
So smooth.
So smooth. I like it.